Hello, my name is Madeline Enderle. This semester, I collaborated with Professor Wendy Chin to write the case study Climate Change, Paris Accord, and Challenges for the Fashion Industry. Today, I will be discussing the fashion industry and its effects on climate change and the relation to the Paris Agreement. Regarding the structure of the presentation, first, we will discuss the threat of climate change and the goals of the Paris Agreement. Then, we will leverage our knowledge to evaluate the environmental impact of the fashion industry. Lastly, we will assess practices of leading apparel companies in relation to sustainability. The Industrial Revolution commenced in the late 1700s and is represented by the sudden spike in global carbon dioxide concentrations, as demonstrated in Figure 1. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas were instrumental to powering the Industrial Revolution and continue to be utilized to power our modern society. However, the burning of fossil fuels emits large quantities of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that traps heat in the Earth's atmosphere and is a primary driver of global warming. Corresponding with the rise of fossil fuel use and global carbon dioxide levels is the increase in the global mean temperature. Figure 2 shows that since the onset of the Industrial Revolution, the Earth's temperature has increased by 1.1 degrees Celsius. Figure 3 visualizes potential pathways for the global mean temperature based on the magnitude of climate change policies. The temperature is estimated to increase 1 to 4.8 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. The greater the increase in global temperature, the more severe and irreversible the effects of climate change will be on the Earth. Already, the ramifications of rapid climate change have been demonstrated through the increased frequency and intensity of heavy precipitation, longer droughts, ice melt, rising atmospheric temperatures, and sea level rise. The Paris Agreement was formalized on December 12, 2015, with the signatures of 195 supporting countries. Its goal is to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations, to keep global warming between 1.5 and 2 degrees Celsius of pre-industrial levels, and avoid more dangerous global mean temperature increases of 3 and 4 degrees Celsius. According to the United Nations, to achieve the temperature goals, global greenhouse gas emissions must be reduced from 52.7 gigatons in 2014 to 42 gigatons in 2030. Additionally, carbon dioxide emissions must be reduced from 35.5 gigatons in 2014 to net zero between the years of 2060 to 2075. Now that we have talked about the severity of climate change, we will evaluate the global apparel manufacturing industry and its impact on the environment. Data trends from 2015 to 2020 demonstrate an average industry growth of 2%. As of 2020, the fashion market was valued at $797 billion. Globally, there were approximately 350,000 businesses in this industry, employing around 12 million people. The industry is expected to continue to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 11.8%, and reach approximately $1.1 trillion by the year 2022. The fashion industry was responsible for emitting approximately 2.1 billion metric tons of greenhouse gas in 2018, which accounted for 4% of the global emissions, and is estimated that the industry's total annual emissions are equivalent to the entire greenhouse gas emissions of the economies of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom combined. Furthermore, the global fashion industry produces 10% of the world's carbon emissions. Unless actions are taken to mitigate the industry's carbon footprint, current emission trends predict that the fashion retailers will produce 2.7 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide in 2030, as demonstrated in Figure 5. Forecasts predict the industry's emissions levels will exceed the permissible greenhouse gas emission budget for the 1.5 degrees Celsius target outlined by the Paris Agreement. To stay within the 1.5 degrees Celsius goal, the industry must intensify its abatement actions to reduce annual emissions in half to 1.1 billion metric tons in 2030. Based on Figure 6, material production emits the highest level of carbon at 38%, while the product use stage by consumers is the second highest segment, accounting for 20%. It is estimated that approximately 60% of the industry's emissions reductions could be achieved by modifications from suppliers. Therefore, it is critical that the production and manufacturing in the fashion industry is adjusted to align with the 1.5 degrees Celsius emissions targets. In December of 2018, the fashion industry partnered with the United Nations to develop the Fashion Industry Charter for Climate Action, which is a strategy to align industry practices with the Paris Accord goals. The Charter's mission focuses on reducing greenhouse gas emissions of its participants by 30% by the year 2030, and is committed to achieving net zero emissions by 2050. American Eagle, Nike, Chanel, and 115 other companies have pledged to align their business practices with the Charter's decarbonization goals. Examples of decarbonization strategies are shown in Figure 7. They include improving packaging through the use of recycled materials, which could save 5 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions, in addition to lowering production costs. Another initiative includes increasing supply chain and transportation efficiency to 90% sea and 10% air, which is estimated to save more than $600 per ton of greenhouse gas emissions. If the clothing and textile sector can achieve the Charter for Climate Action's temperature goals, the industry will reduce its greenhouse gas emissions and will aid society in avoiding the worst impacts of the climate change crisis. In 2019, the Pulse of the Fashion Industry report demonstrated that the fashion industry has improved its environmental performance since 2018. However, the industry has not achieved sustainability, as not enough fashion companies have implemented substantial climate change mitigation processes and solutions. H&M is a fast fashion company based in Sweden. A Bloomberg report revealed that H&M torched 4.3 billion worth of unused inventory in 2018. The burning of clothing releases 2,988 pounds of carbon dioxide per megawatt hour, while the incineration of coal emits 2,249 pounds of carbon dioxide per megawatt hour. And the burning of natural gas releases even less carbon dioxide at a rate of 1,135 pounds per megawatt hour. In 2018, the 2018 burning was not the only case of H&M apparel incineration. The retailer was accused by an investigative Danish television channel of burning more than 60 tons of new and unsold clothes from 2013 to 2017. The incineration of overproduced apparel is not exclusive to affordable fast fashion companies. Burberry, a British luxury fashion and beauty brand, destroyed 28.6 million pounds of its own clothing, accessories, and perfume in 2017. The British Broadcasting Company reported that Burberry destroyed more than 90 million pounds worth of unsold products between the years 2014 and 2019 to prevent the apparel from being sold at a discounted rate and damaging the exclusivity of the brand's reputation. Due to societal and marketing pressures to buy the current new style, fashion companies have developed rapid production cycles that continuously churn out new designs, which leads to overproduction. The excessive manufacturing of clothing creates a surplus of unused garments, which companies burn to protect their brand and to create space for new products and additional production capacity. Missguided is another popular fast fashion brand. In 2019, the Manchester, England-based company highlighted the throwaway culture of the fast fashion industry in their release of a 1-pound black string bikini. Since the bikini did not have a high initial monetary market value, shoppers viewed the grossly discounted product as valueless and easily replaceable. Similar to Missguided, Boohoo is also known for selling astonishingly low-priced trendy apparel, specifically their 5-pound dresses. The retailer stated that the dresses were leveraged as a marketing tool to gain attention and traffic to the company's website, as only 80 of the 6,700 dress styles available on the company's site are loss-leading garments. However, these deep discounts are not better than incineration as they promote continuous overconsumption and immediate disposal. The interim report on the sustainability of the fashion industry, conducted by the United Kingdom House of Commons, identified fashion companies such as Missguided and Boohoo that lacked prioritization of sustainable business practices. The report revealed that Missguided and Boohoo have not been transparent in their environmental impact reporting, have lacked a sustainable clothing action plan, and continue to discharge hazardous chemicals into the environment. Tactics such as lack of transparency, bait price marketing, and burning of clothes bring negative publicity to fashion companies. However, in the meantime, retailers face the pressure of maintaining brand image and generating sales. In the competitive fashion industry, how can apparel companies operate in a way that they can balance the need for profitability and maintain their brand image at the same time as catching up with the Paris Accords goals of environmental sustainability?